What is going on, everybody? It is a brand new episode of Drunk Discussions. It has been a hot minute. Again, I know. I apologize. But without further ado, let's get into things.
This podcast is part of the OIW Podcasting Network.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a hot minute, but Drunk Discussions is back in your life. And I would like to, first of all, thank Pretty Ricky for joining me on the previous episode. By all accounts, the Dropkicks for Devon event, which took place in Brantford on June the 10th, went well. I was unable to attend, unfortunately. It was a little out of my way, but I messaged Ricky on Instagram and he said everything went well. So that's great to hear. So thank you again for Ricky for joining me on the last episode. Be sure you're following him on Instagram and Twitter at ProWildy. That's at PROWILLLDY at ProWildy. And as I did say on the last episode, I know I had been away for about a month and a half, 2 months, and I promised I was going to let you guys know why that was. And so that's what this episode is primarily going to be. It's going to be it's going to be a little update. I don't know how long it's going to take me to ramble on with the update, to be honest, because sometimes I think it's just going to take me a short amount of time to give an update, and then I end up rambling on for about 20 minutes. So maybe if there's time, I'll also throw in a retro commercials video. But first of all, I may not remember to say it much tonight, but for those of you who are new to the podcast, there is a drinking game that goes on. Anytime I say the word, anytime I say the phrase really strong, take a drink of whatever you have in front of you. It does not have to be an alcoholic beverage. I realize that people struggle with alcoholism and sobriety, and not everybody drinks. Some people just choose not to drink, whether they've dealt with alcohol abuse or they just don't like to drink at all. So whatever you happen to have in front of you, whether it be alcoholic, non-alcoholic, water, milk, juice. I mean, if you want to chug a coffee, that's up to you. But anytime I say the phrase really strong, take a drink of whatever you have in front of you. Tonight, I don't know if this is going to show up on camera. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Not really well. Tonight I am drinking a Mike's Hard White Freezer. It tastes just like a white freezy. It's really nice on a hot summer day. I'm recording this at night, so it's not as hot out as it was earlier. This week really hasn't been that hot in Toronto anyways. It's been a lot of rain. But it does taste like a white freezy, and it's nice and refreshing on those hot summer days to have one. So, anyways, as to why I haven't been around much lately, as I've said on previous episodes, I got laid off from my previous job back in December. And actually, I do want to apologize because I'm getting a lot of static and feedback in my headphones. These are new headphones, so I don't know if it's just an issue on my end or if you guys are going to hear the static and feedback as well. It doesn't look like it's picking up on the audio recording, but if it does, I do apologize. So yeah, so I was laid off from my job back in December, and obviously I've been looking for jobs ever since. And back in the beginning of April, we'll get back to the job thing in just a sec, but back in the beginning of April, I ended up getting a really bad chest infection and I was coughing and having trouble sleeping because I couldn't sleep without coughing. And I also had a foot infection and an eye infection thrown in there for good measure. The eye infection and foot infection got cleared up pretty much right away once I went on antibiotics. But I went on a like an asthma puffer for the coughing, and the first one didn't really work too well. And then I got put on a second one, and that one seemed to work better. But anyways, I had this awful chest infection that just would not go away for about 6 weeks, and it was awful. Like, I just felt like shit the entire time. I had no energy. Like I said, it was keeping me up at night because I'd try to sleep and I either not be able to get to sleep because I'd have a coughing fit, or I would be able to get to sleep, but I'd be asleep for maybe an hour, hour and a half, and then I'd wake up in the middle of my sleeping to a very, very large coughing fit. So, yeah, that was 6 weeks of just pure hell and bullshit that I did not enjoy dealing with at all. And then, like I said, on top of that, being without a job since December, which isn't really strong. I don't recommend being unemployed for 6 months. Obviously, sometimes we can't help it. Like, I can't help the situation that I'm in right now. And I know there are other people in similar situations, and I know that they can't help it either. Just, we got to do what we can to keep pushing forward. But so I had a job interview with a company back in March, and I was really excited. It was the beginning of March, end of February, I think. I can't remember exactly when, but it was definitely last week of February, first week of March. Anyways, I had an interview with them. Thought it went really, really well. I'm not going to say the company's name on air, but I thought it went really well. And the guy that I interviewed with was super nice, and he was super upfront. He's like, "Hey, we're opening up a bunch of new stores in Quebec. So we may not get back to you right away. If you don't hear from me by such and such a date, send me an email. I'll let you know what's going on." And it wasn't supposed to be that long of a time frame. It was like a week and a half if I hadn't heard back from them to get in touch with them again. So, and let me preface this by saying that I have lived in Toronto my entire life, and this was a job out in Ottawa, so it was going to require me to move, and I was totally prepared for that. I'd been researching apartments. I had money set aside because I've been wanting to move for a long time now. I've actually been wanting to move from Toronto to Halifax, Nova Scotia, but COVID hit and that didn't happen because that was supposed to happen back in 2020. But again, then COVID and all the lockdowns and all that shit happened. So that didn't happen. But, anyways, so I had money set aside, not a lot of money, but enough that could have gotten me out there based on what I had in my checking account at the time, combined with what I had in my savings account. At the time, I had enough to make a move. Well, fast forward the week and a half goes by. I don't hear back from them. So I get in touch with them and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on? Just wanted to check in. You guys told me it would be a week and a half, and I still haven't heard anything back." And he's like, "Yeah, it's we're still dealing with the stores in Quebec. It's taking a little bit longer than expected, but you should hear back from us by the end of the week." Cool. End of the week comes by. Sure enough, I do hear from them, and I get set up with a date and time the following week for a follow-up interview. Cool. And the follow-up interview is directly with the store manager. Whereas the first interview, I believe the gentleman that I was talking to was HR. I'm not 100% on that. Could be wrong. Could have been the district manager. I'm not entirely sure. But the second interview was with the store manager themselves. So thought the interview went really, really well, and really thought I had the job. Unfortunately, I ended up getting an email about a week after I did the interview saying, "Unfortunately, we have selected another candidate for the position." So I didn't get the job. So I keep applying to other places and obviously looking for other jobs because being unemployed sucks. And then April hits and it's tax season. So I have to do my taxes. And being unemployed with no income definitely doesn't help with the fact that I had to pay back some money on my taxes this year. And it was more than I was expecting because of the Canadian government's CERB program during COVID, where they gave out money And then last year they sent notice to everybody that they expected people on CERB to pay it back. Fortunately, I wasn't hit as hard as some of the other people that in my life that I know ended up having to pay back CERB, but still having to pay back CERB at a time where I'm unemployed and don't have an income, that was tough to deal with. So even though I had this money set aside to make a move after tax season, that got sufficiently hampered and dwindled down quite a bit. So, anyways, I'm still looking for jobs, but now I'm resigned to the fact that I'm probably going to have to look within Toronto because now I definitely don't have enough money to make a move like I would like to. But then I see that the store that I applied to for Ottawa, or in Ottawa, I should say, had reposted the position I had applied for. And I'm like, man, I really want to go for this. I'm going to try to contact them and then hopefully get in touch with the bank, and hopefully the bank can give me a loan and I can get some money to make the move out there. Well, I got in touch with them, with the store, and the manager said that he had been trying to contact me for a week, and he was glad I reached out. And the job was mine if I was able to make the move out there, and if I wanted the job, which I was ecstatic about. So the next step, obviously, was to go to a bank and see if I could get a loan. In addition to that, obviously, I had to find a place out in Ottawa because initially I was going to just stay in a hotel for a while until I could find a place in Ottawa. But again, with taxes taking away money from me and, no longer having as much saved up for a move as I had previously, hotel wasn't an option. I was going to have to try to find something immediately that I could move into. Unfortunately, all the apartments that I had been looking at back in March when I originally applied for the job, or sorry, back in February when I originally applied, and throughout March when I was originally doing the first interview process, all those apartments were obviously gone, and it was very, very hard to find any apartments in the area that I was going to move to because it's not right in Ottawa. The store, it's sort of on the outside of Ottawa, and there just wasn't many options in apartment. But still, I figured if I could at least get a loan from the bank, I could at least find something and make it work. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't get the loan from the bank, so I'm shit out of luck. And man, that was a hard pill for me to swallow because I was so excited for this job. I really was. Again, I'm not going to say the name of the company because, I don't think there would be any issues if I did say the company name because I do hold them in high regard, but I don't want to say the name of the company just to prevent any sort of legal actions being taken. Not that I think any would be taken, but just in case. But anyways, I was really looking forward to this company. Both of the guys, whether it was the HR manager or the district manager that I spoke to the first time, he was super nice. He kept me super informed as to what the situation was and why the interview process was taking so long. The store manager himself was super nice. Really loved talking to him. Really got good vibes from them. I was really, really looking forward to to working for that company. And unfortunately, just a bunch of things transpired, and I unfortunately, in the end, was not able to take the job because I didn't have the financial resources that I initially had to make the move from Toronto to Ottawa. So that put me into, oh man, that put me into a really strong depression for about 2 weeks. And like I was so bummed out. Like it just hit me so hard. And I I couldn't deal with it for a while. I had to take some me time to really process it and get back on my feet. Like in that 2 week period where I was just really depressed, like I wasn't even looking for jobs at that point because I was like, man, I had this one, I had this one right in my grasp, and it fell through. And again, it just hit me really, really hard. And then Ricky reached out to me on Instagram about doing the interview with him for Dropkicks for Devon to help promote the show. And initially I wasn't really feeling it, but I do like Ricky. He's been a guest on the show in the past. He's super awesome. And you know what? Even though I wasn't feeling it because of everything that I had been going through, I did want to help out Ricky. I wanted to turn my negatives into at least positives for somebody else. So I ended up doing the interview with Ricky, and actually that went really well. And then just doing that podcast sort of helped to get me out of the funk that I was in and started to bring me back to my normal level of self. And so now I'm back to handing out resumes, submitting applications online. I've had a couple more interviews. Unfortunately, so far, nothing else has worked out. The interviews that I have had, I haven't been selected, unfortunately. So I'm just going to keep trying because that's really all I can do. But yeah, it sucks that I'm going on 6 months, well, past 6 months now. By the time this episode releases, it'll be close to 7 months since I was let go by my company, my previous employer. So yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is. I'm at just under 24 minutes. And I know there was about a 2 to 3 minute interval where I wasn't talking that I'll cut out because I was responding to some text messages. So really, I'm about 20 minutes in. So let me do some retro commercials. I'll do one set of retro commercials and then we'll call it a show. But I did want to just provide that update as to why I have been posting so infrequently. And I'm gonna say it at the end of the show anyways, but man, I forgot at the beginning of the show, the social medias. If you're on social media, and who isn't these days, be sure to give a follow to the show at Drunk Discussions on, or sorry, at Drunk D Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, as well as TikTok, or Facebook.com/Drunk Discussions. You can also find me on YouTube. Just search for Drunk Discussions in the search bar. And I also have an OnlyFans account where I do erotic literature. And then once a month, I post a little bit more spicy content. But most of the time, it's erotic literature. And I need to get back into the habit of posting there because for the same reason I haven't been doing podcasts, I wasn't posting on there just because of everything else that was going on. But if you want to check out my OnlyFans and the erotic readings, it is absolutely free to subscribe. It is onlyfans.com/discussions after dark. There are some free erotic readings and there are some paid erotic readings. And all the spicier content that I post are pay-per-view posts. So you would have to pay to see those. So don't worry if you don't want to see any nudity. You're not going to see any nudity because I don't post that stuff for free. Anyways, let's get into one batch of retro commercials from 80s Commercial Vault. They're always a trusted source. And I saw that they posted a new video a couple of hours ago as of this recording. So let me, I got a notification. So let me check out 80s Commercial Vault. Ooh, okay. Oh, no, I was going to say they just released 80s Commercials Volume 1001 about 13 hours ago as of when I am recording this. I was going to say, should I do volume 1000 first, or should I just go to volume 1001? But I see volume 1000 is a two-parter. The first video is just under 40 minutes, and the second video is 45 minutes. So those two combined would be about an hour and a half. So I am not going to do those on this episode, but feel free to check them out. Go to 80s Commercial Vault on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/ @80s commercial vault, and it's the number 80, so 80 letter S commercial vault. And be sure you subscribe to their page. And my correct YouTube URL is youtube.com/@drunk discussions. So I couldn't remember exactly what it was when I was doing the promos earlier for my social medias, but it's youtube.com/@drunk discussions. But without further ado, let's do some 80s commercials.
For the third consecutive year.
Ooh, turn that down just a bit because that is blowing out my ears. So on the last set of commercials that I did for 80s Commercial Vault, they actually pointed out to me that they give all the information on the commercials in the description box for each video. So this commercial set is taken from KTLA television from June 12th, 1983. I am not going to read what all the commercials are, even though he has them listed, because I want to be surprised as I watch this. So let me turn the volume down a little bit more. Hopefully that's a good level. And let me restart the video.
Here on channel for the third consecutive year. LA's Emmy Award-winning news. News at 10 here on Channel 5, KTLA, Los Angeles.
KTLA in Los Angeles, Emmy Award-winning news. What the fuck is this?
Channel 5 presents the movie for a Sunday evening.
Movie for a Sunday evening? What's the movie for a Sunday evening?
Travel to the ocean floor where danger is a way of life and life is
Oh, is this 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Oh, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Really strong. Really, really strong.
Voyage to the bottom of the sea.
Explode the boat and you explode the world.
Explode the boat, then you explode the world.
Disaster spectacular. Voyage to the bottom of the sea. Tonight's feature on the movie for a Sunday evening.
Tonight at 5 on Movie for a Sunday evening.
Marineland.
Oh,
A
Marineland.
totally different exotic world that you can actually enter. See.
I think the San Diego one is shut down now, isn't it? Or on the verge of being shut down? I'm going to Google that.
The frightening. The utterly fantastic. Nowhere else can you be so close to so much wonder. And it's all so close by at Marineland.
Overlooking the ocean on the beautiful Palos Verdes Peninsula, open daily.
Overlooking the ocean, but we don't want to put the animals in the ocean.
Our families always use these.
You need Sue's soft teak tissues.
Virgil, nothing softer than ours.
I know that actress that's playing the sick grandmother. I recognize the voice. Like, I can't recognize the face, but I definitely recognize the voice.
Soft teak tissue is softer. Well,
I think I know who that. I think that's the social worker from Mrs. Doubtfire. I think that's what the voice sounded like to me.
The Cooper brothers of North Post, Alaska stock up on rich, hearty coffee for the long, cold winter. Each spends the same amount. But while Bud buys ordinary coffee, Ed buys Hills Brothers High Yield. It's specially roasted to give him more delicious coffee for his money. So long about February, while Ed's still enjoying his high yield, Bud runs out.
Hello, Ed.
Nope.
Taste Hills Brothers High Yield. More delicious coffee for your money.
It's here, Beano's grand opening of our sports shoe department. Save $10 on
Sale $14.95, regular $24.95. Men's sizes, Nike.
All Southland Beano's.
At all Southland Beano's.
And now, Channel 5's movie for a Sunday evening presents
$10 off.
Starring in voice.
I don't think you can get shoes. I don't think you can get Nike shoes for $24.95 anymore, even on a sale price. Like, that was the regular price back then. I don't think you can get Nike for $24.95 on a sale price these days. And yeah, Marineland in Los Angeles,
It's all discount priced every day.
also known as Marineland of the Pacific, did close down. I didn't realize that the Los Angeles one closed down in 1987. I didn't think it closed down until all the commotion caused by Blackfish came out a couple years ago, but Los Angeles Marineland closed down in 1987 apparently. So you learn something watching these commercials. Sentra, sorry. These cars look awful, man. I fucking hate the 80s square block cars. Cars in the 50s, 60s, and 70s had personality, and then in the 80s, cars just became so bland and box-like. It's awful. Anyways, what's this a commercial for?
And it's light, and it mixes in a number of interesting ways.
Imported. Harvey's Bristol Cream.
I know. I'm good at small parties, too.
Harvey's Bristol Cream.
It's downright sociable.
If you're looking for an action-packed summer,
I don't think they're around anymore either.
She's back. LA's favorite superhero.
I still don't know what Harvey's Bristol Cream was. I don't know if... I mean, I'm assuming it's an alcoholic beverage, but it didn't make clear what kind, so whatever. Anyways, Wonder Woman, followed by Kung Fu, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m., starting Monday.
East and fighting the brutality of the West. Wonder Woman at 6 and Kung Fu at 7. It all starts Monday only on
Weeknights on Channel 5. 2 action-packed hours. That's really strong.
Breaks the static barrier. Introducing new Fab with full-strength fabric softener.
Is Fab softener around?
Plus full-strength detergent and new Fab? Fabulous. No more staticky
I'm not
socks
going to be
or
bothered
clean
to
wash,
look them up.
and such
No
a
more static.
fabulous
That's
clean.
amazing.
Mom. And lemony fresh.
Get a cream that
Who doesn't love a soft, lemony, fresh towel? I know I do. Buy Fab fabric softener if you want a soft, lemon fresh towel. Sakes alive, 57. I didn't see the price on that.
Is an even better value than $57.95.
$57.95. Save hundreds now. 5-speed with full carpeting. That's a deal. Side note, actual prices are set by the dealers. So you may not actually get it for $57.95. Some dealers may charge more, some may charge less.
A delicious way to treat yourself. It's sweet.
I'm not a big seafood fan, but for those of you who love seafood, this lobster, I'm assuming, looks amazing.
And so you can
I wouldn't know.
more. Sizzler serves it with a juicy sirloin steak.
God, that sirloin steak looks good, though.
And steak. Only at Sizzler can you splurge like this.
Sizzler. $8.99 for steak and lobster dinner? Are you fucking kidding me? That shit would be like $67 these days. Fuck, you cannot afford steak and lobster dinner anymore. $8.99. Can I please go back to 1983 so I can fucking afford shit? God damn it. Anyways, we've got a Tab Cola commercial. Only 1 calorie in Tab Cola. We got some dude in the office doing pull-ups. Some people on the beach. Great taste, 1 calorie. Tab.
A lot of underwear may look the same.
Jim Palmer,
Believe me, it isn't.
star pitcher
No
for
one
the
makes
Baltimore
jockey brand
Orioles.
Quality, but jockey. Not everyone uses.
Oh, Jim
100%
Palmer and his
pure
jockey
foam
ads.
or real rubber in the waistband and leg openings like
Pardon me.
Jockey is tailored for comfort.
Is it?
Handcrafted to fit,
Is it really tailored
last,
for comfort?
and to keep its shape. Sure, Jockey brand costs a little more, but you get a lot of quality.
How
and
much
value
more, Jim?
for your money.
Tell me how much more it costs.
Jockey.
Oh, that's some nice embroidery stitching. That is some beautiful embroidery stitching.
Launches on. PSA now takes off for Portland.
PSA is now flying to Portland
Catch our daily service to
and
And
Spokane.
more every business day. 3 nonstop to
Albuquerque starts June
Portland,
15th.
Oregon, Spokane, Washington, and Albuquerque, New Mexico with a smile.
$75 to fly with PSA to Albuquerque. $115 to Portland. I think it was $145 to Spokane. I didn't really look at Spokane, but I think it was $145.
Cost of living.
At Ralph's, you get 21 ways.
Like Switch and Save number 5. Low prices on top quality produce.
I want low prices on top quality produce.
First of season seedless grapes.
Seedless grapes, 79 cents per pound. That's a steal. Switch and save more than a buck a bet. That was such a catchy jingle. I love that. I'm not rewinding any of the commercials today, so I'm not going back on any of this. So if I miss something, I miss something.
And your Medicare doesn't cover
We got a bunch of old people in a hospital
Are you
staying
kidding?
over somebody
I got Blue Cross.
who looks like they're in leg casts, maybe a full body cast,
This year,
but
one
you
in
can only
7
see the feet.
Americans will wind up in the hospital. Call Blue Cross, toll free.
Oh, it's a
at
Blue Cross commercial. 800-772-3200.
800
800-772-3200.
In a
Blue
moment, we'll
Cross.
return to the movie for a Sunday evening.
Around here, it's still early to bed and early to rise.
Is
We
it?
just try not to overdo it.
It's Miller time in the heartland of America. You gotta love these really strong 80s Miller commercials. Welcome to Miller time.
Of the day, Miller High Life.
Miller High Life, best time of the day.
Adventures of Conan, a sword and sorcery specialist.
Conan the Barbarian.
Coming live to Universal Studios Tour.
Oh, it was a theme park adventure at Universal Studios Hollywood. Twin bed for $138, all 3 pieces. There's an Ortho Factory. There's an Ortho Factory showroom near you.
Into something new and beautiful with 20-minute workout.
Weekday mornings at 9:30 on
Weekdays at 9:30, 20-minute workout.
KTLA, Channel 5.
Gotta love 80s
Los
aerobics. This is another great jingle. I love 80s jingles.
Right now, your Southern California Datsun dealer has the fabulous 1983 and a half Nissan trucks in all colors and styles.
All colors? All styles? And only 9.9% annual lease rate? But only at participating Southern California Datsun dealers. It's got a cartoon vacuum. It's like a 1970s style vacuum.
Citrus fresh, floral fresh,
Soft scent, love my carpet.
Love My Carpet gets dog, cat, and smoke odors out of the rug. Just sprinkle it on and your whole room smells fresh, clean. And all 4 Love My Carpet scents keep me smelling fresh. That's why you'll love My Carpet. Pick 'em up. I do.
This commercial is cheesy, but I love it.
Burger King presents
Burger King.
Return of the Jedi glasses. 4 new glasses from the
Star Wars glasses from Burger King.
The adventures of Luke Skywalker. The Ewoks. Han Solo. And Jabba the Hutt.
I want my Ewoks glass.
Medium or large Coke, and a different glass is yours each week for a special price.
Just buy a large Coke, man. That's all you got to do.
Return of the Jedi glasses, now appearing only at Burger King.
Man, I'm going to have to go to Burger King and buy me a large Coke so I can get a Return of the Jedi glass.
Here from going in here. But most people don't
Okay,
have
we've got a
that
woman
much
in the kitchen,
willpower.
opening the
That's why I
fridge.
used control capsules to lose weight.
Control gives your willpower.
Control no caffeine.
Control helps control your
Weight loss
appetite, so even
capsules.
tempting
That's
foods
what
don't
this was
seem
about.
So appealing.
With a control diet plan, I had the willpower.
I
to
thought it
eat
was going to
less,
be like
and I
something to
lost
help
weight.
organize your fridge or to make your fridge smell nice
weight
when you have a
control.
lot of food in there. Nope, diet pills. Goddamn diet pills. Amazing. All right, so I am at 42 minutes, so that's where I'm going to wrap up. I was not going to read the commercials before I watched them because I want to be surprised, but for those of you who want to know what those commercials were, some of them I may have talked at. I don't know if I bounced the levels properly. Normally, I do a sound check on the levels for a video. When I'm watching the retro commercials, I usually do a video audio sound check before I start recording, but I wasn't sure I was actually going to do one tonight, so I didn't check the levels offhand. Hopefully you were able to hear the commercials all right, and hopefully you were able to hear me all right. But the commercials that played, there was a promo for News at 10. Then there was Movie for a Sunday Evening, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Commercial for Marineland. And there is I should have read the notes. But yeah, there is a note in here that says that it was later. Marineland was later purchased by SeaWorld in 1987 with all the animals moved and the park permanently closed. So yeah, so Marineland closed in Los Angeles in 1987, but was bought out by SeaWorld, and all the animals and attractions from, well, not attractions, but the animals from Marineland got moved to SeaWorld, which I believe is the one in San Diego. Then there was a commercial for Kleenex Softique tissue, Hillsboro's High Yield Coffee, Beano's movie for a Sunday evening commercial bumper, Lucky, Nissan Sentra, Harvey's Bristol Cream, promo for Wonder Woman and Kung Fu, Fab fabric softener, Mazda B2000 Sundowner, Sizzler, Tab movie for a Sunday evening commercial bumper, Jockey, PSA flights, Ralph's Blue Cross movie for a Sunday evening commercial bumper number 4, Miller High Life, The Adventures of Conan, coming to Universal Studios. And 80s Commercial Vault makes a note that this was a live stage show based on Conan the Barbarian that opened on June 18th, 1983 at Universal Studios Hollywood and remained there until it closed in 1993, 10 years later. Ortho mattress, promo for 20-minute workout. And I love his note on this one. Or her, sorry. I don't know if 80s Commercial Vault was run by a male or a female or somebody who identifies as something else. But whoever runs 80s Commercial Vault made a note that 20-minute workout was an iconic bit of 80s TV, but I would venture to guess that 90% of the viewing audience were teenage boys and young men who were not remotely interested in doing aerobics. That might be the best note that I've ever seen for a YouTube video. Then there was a KTLA station ID, Nissan trucks, Love My Carpet, Return of the Jedi collectible glasses at Burger King, Control, and then the final movie for a Sunday afternoon bumper, which actually got cut off because I didn't see it after that Control commercial. So those were all the commercials that played. So I appreciate everybody that stuck around. I appreciate everybody that's put up with my absence. I know this podcast doesn't get a lot of viewers or listeners to begin with. A lot of that is because of the inconsistent posting. Another part of that is just because this podcast, it sucks and it's not what it once was. I'd like to get it back to where it once was. But unfortunately, as of right now, this podcast is not where I'd like it to be. But I still appreciate anybody that supports this show. So thank you very much. If you do enjoy the show, it would be really strong of you to let people know where they can find this show. And this podcast is available on most major podcasting platforms, including, but not limited to, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and of course, the main source of upload is Podbean, drunkdiscussions.podbean.com. And you can watch the visual portion of these podcasts, as I said earlier, on YouTube, youtube.com/@Drunk Discussions. You can also follow the show on social media at Drunk D Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, or facebook.com/Drunk Discussions. You can also buy some merch from Spreadshirt, shop.spreadshirt.com/Drunk Discussions. There's always sales going on Spreadshirt. I have to update some stuff because, again, obviously, when I haven't been keeping an eye on the show because of what I had mentioned previously, everything that I've been dealing with in life, I also haven't been keeping up to date with the online store, but there are sales on there all the time. So just please check out shop.spreadshirt.com/Drunk Discussions. Buy some merch, help support the show. Wear it loud, wear it proud. It would mean a lot to me. And of course, if you want to find some naughtier stuff, the OnlyFans where I do erotic readings can be found on onlyfans.com/discussions after dark. With all that out of the way, whether you're listening and watching this in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, whatever time of day it is, where you are, when you're listening to this, or when you're watching this, I thank you for listening or watching. I appreciate you listening or watching, and I will talk to you all again very, very soon. Bye.